is efficiency.
That is.
We just talked to Mike. Talking to him yesterday, and it seemed like you said you encouraged him to just let it fly. And I don't want to extrapolate what the whole conversation was.
Extrapolate.
Big word. But what are your expectations for Mike now that he's finally healthy going into the postseason?
Yeah, that conversation yesterday was, I ran a play for him, came off when it was open, he didn't shoot it, and I said, listen, we run offense for you, and you have a good look, you have to shoot it. You're too great of a shooter for us. So, for him going in, obviously being healthy, we need his scoring, his efficiency, but we also need his rebounding and his defense. That's the one thing I think, as you guys all know, all year long, the conversation from me about Michael Porter has not just been about the offense, it's been about his willingness to buy in and commit to the defensive end of the floor, to use his 7 feet wingspan, and offensively, and he's shown so many really good examples this year. If you don't have anything, pass, cut, make a play for somebody else. So I'm just thankful that right now, knock on wood, we are healthy going into the postseason. To have Jamal back, to have Michael back is a blessing.
Michael, I think earlier this season you said you guys traded for KCP for this time of year, and I was just wondering if you could kind of expand on what you mean by that.
Well, obviously a guy that the only player in our roster who's won a world championship. He's been around a team down in the bubble that beat us, and he has a ring. When you get into the postseason, the game slows down, and you have to be able to get stops, and you have to have some toughness and physicality. And on the other end, you have to be able to make shots. And I think KCP has shown all season long that he is a premier two-way player. The great thing about that game in Utah was to see KCP get hot. He made 6 threes in that game because prior to that he had been struggling a little bit with his three-point efficiency. But knowing that we have a guy like that can guard in multiple positions, whether we play OKC or Minnesota, we know how valuable Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is on both ends of the floor.
How much does it help that you're so familiar with OKC and Minnesota in terms of getting a jump on the scout, I guess?
Yeah, division opponents. Watched that game last night. What a hell of a game. I think I just call him Coach Mark. I can't pronounce his last name, but I think he has to be in the running for Coach of the Year. They have the second youngest team in the league, and his leadership, his coaching, and his ability to get that team to play at a high level, I think has been remarkable, and I think he deserves a ton of credit and respect in that regard. But yeah, knowing those two teams well, we'll watch the game tomorrow night to see who we play, and it's going to be a challenge no matter what. You have a really big team in Minnesota, and you have a small, versatile attacking team in OKC. A lot of common themes there, though. They both thrive on turning you over. They both are really good in terms of averaging steals per game and living in your paint. And that's we touched on some of those concepts today without getting into too much detail about either one of those teams, but taking care of it, keeping them out of the paint is going to be paramount against either one of those teams.
Will you watch that game as a team again tomorrow?
The players will. Yeah, the players, we're all going to get together, watch that film. Obviously we as coaches will watch it, but sometimes getting away from our guys is good. I know they probably get tired of being around me and the rest of the coaches, but yeah, we all watched that game last night, and I'm sure they're going to do the same thing tomorrow.
What's your impression been of the team over these last 2 days of practice?
I think we're ready to go. I think I don't know what the exact number was, but we were in first place for a long time. And not to make any excuses for our group, I think at some point our guys were just all right, let's get to the postseason already. Yesterday was a tremendous practice. Today was a very good practice. We competed, did a lot of live stuff once again. Thank goodness no one got hurt. We got a lot out of it. We competed. We got some game conditioning in, and we tried a lot of different things in terms of lineups and different rotations that we could use once Sunday night comes along. But I think overall, Adam, our guys are geeked up, ready to play and get this thing going.
Joker said sometimes he feels his calf, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes bothering him. What is your concern level over that calf?
Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't. Yeah, you're always concerned. I'm concerned about Michael's back and his foot. get concerned about Jamal's thumb and his knee, Aaron's shoulder. Like you've played 82 games. It's a long season, so you always have concern. But I think he's done a great job. Our training staff's done a great job in helping manage that the best of our abilities. The only way you can really ensure it doesn't get hurt is by resting, and that's not going to happen this time of year. So he's looked really good the last 2 days. We're going to really scale back tomorrow and kind of get back doing things on Saturday as we prepare for game 1. But I think he's in a really good place.
Nicola said he would have rather just jump right back into games, but do you think because it's been so long, having this time off would be beneficial?
Yeah, that's like a catch-22. You know what I mean? I think when you're playing really well, you want to keep that rhythm. You want to go. I think the curse of being a number one is that you don't find out until Friday night. So you really have this one true day to get ready. But I understand. I think it's more of a mental thing for our players. For Nicola, like waiting around for a whole week to play game 1, that's an eternity. Our guys aren't used to that. We haven't had this kind of a stretch since training camp. So these guys are competitors. They've had a great season to this point, and now they're ready to start our second season and get things going. But they're definitely anxious and fired up. Nothing from this side today. Just this side.
Lopsided.
I know you got to work out.
Nicole gave Bruce a hard time for not being as good at his job because Mike brought up the salary. He's like, "Do you love your job?" And Bruce's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I like
about
your
the
salary."
salary?
And Bruce is like, "Well, maybe you're not as good at your job."
Yeah.
Hey, we're trying to keep things like together right now.
We keep things
harmonious.